The rain fell in heavy sheets across London, matching Amara's mood as she packed the last of her essentials. The phone call had come 3 days ago. Her father, Chief Obi Okeke, was dead. Heart attack, they said. Quick and painless, they assured. But the pain Amara felt was neither quick nor painless as she folded his last birthday gift to her, a traditional wrapper he'd brought from his last visit to Nigeria. "You sure about this trip, Am?" her roommate Ada asked, leaning against the doorframe. "You haven't been back home in what, 8 years?" 7, Amara corrected, zipping her suitcase with finality. "And it's not really home anymore." But it was. Despite the years in London, despite her British accent and medical degree, despite everything she'd built here, Lagos was still home. The place where her father's laughter had once filled rooms, where her mother had taught her to cook jollof rice before cancer took her when Amara was 16. The flight to Lagos was a blur of fitful sleep and memories. By the time her taxi pulled up to the family house in Ikoyi, a stately colonial-era building with wraparound verandas, exhaustion had seeped into her bones. The house looked smaller than she remembered, the garden more wild but still unmistakably theirs. Dragging her suitcase up the steps, Amara fished out the key she had kept all these years. Before she could use it, the heavy wooden door swung open. A woman stood there, early 40s perhaps, beautiful in a quiet way, dressed in a purple Ankara dress, not the housekeeper Amara expected. "Can I help you?" the woman asked in Igbo-accented English. "I'm Amara Okeke, Chief Obi's daughter." The woman's eyes widened slightly, but her composed expression barely flickered. "Ah, the London daughter. Please, come in." Something in her tone, the way she said London daughter, raised the hairs on Amara's neck. She stepped into the familiar foyer, now adorned with photos she didn't recognize. "And you are?" Amara asked, setting down her bag. The woman straightened, smoothing her dress. "I am Nneka Okeke, your father's wife." The world tilted beneath Amara's feet. "I'm sorry, his what?" "His wife," Nneka repeated, her voice gentle but firm. "For the past 5 years." "That's impossible," Amara said. "My mother was his only wife. She died 11 years ago." Nneka's expression softened. "I know about your mother, Ifeoma. She was a good woman, but your father remarried. I'm sorry you weren't told." Before Amara could respond, footsteps sounded from the stairs, and a young girl appeared, about 4 years old, with her father's eyes. "Mama, is everything?" The girl stopped, staring at Amara. "Chika," Nneka said, "this is your sister Amara from London." Amara sat rigid in her father's study, clutching the cup of tea Nneka had made. The room still smelled of his pipe tobacco and old books, but now feminine touches were everywhere. Embroidered cushions, fresh flowers, framed photos of Nneka and her father looking happy, comfortable. "He never told me," Amara said, more to herself than to Nneka. "Not once in all our calls." Nneka sighed. "He wanted to, many times, but he said you were still so devoted to your mother's memory. So he just, what? Started a whole new family instead?" "It wasn't like that," Nneka said. "After we married, he tried calling you more often. Didn't you notice?" Amara had noticed. Sunday calls became twice weekly. She'd been pleased but busy with residency. Sometimes she'd cut the call short. The lawyer was due tomorrow. Funeral arrangements were being finalized. And all Amara could think was, who was this woman claiming to be her father's wife? "Where did you meet him?" Amara asked. "At a medical conference in Abuja." I'm a nurse. Your father was presenting research. Something didn't add up. If you've been married 5 years, why didn't you attend my graduation or Christmas gatherings when Dad visited London? Neka's eyes dropped. He wanted to tell you in person. Each time he went to London, he said he would, but he always returned saying the time wasn't right. The front door opened, voices spilling in. An older woman entered. Auntie Ebele, her father's sister, followed by cousins and family friends. Upon seeing Amara, Auntie Ebele rushed forward, wrapping her in a tight embrace. My child, when did you arrive? Why didn't you go? We would have collected you from the airport. Over her aunt's shoulder, Amara watched Neka retreat to greet the others. Something in her posture changed, becoming more defensive, less certain. Later in the kitchen, Auntie Ebely's voice dropped to a harsh whisper. Don't believe everything that woman tells you. So she's not his wife? Oh, she has papers, a wedding certificate, photos from a ceremony. But your mother, your real mother, was the only true wife of my brother. Then who is she? Auntie Ebely's lips thinned. A village girl who caught his eye. Traditional ceremony only, not legal like his marriage to your mother. And Chika, his daughter with Neka, yes, their only child. Blood is blood, but you, Amara, you are the firstborn of the first and only legal wife. This house is rightfully yours. Through the kitchen window, Amara watched Neka directing the funeral arrangements in the garden, moving with quiet authority. Their eyes met briefly and Neka gave a small, sad smile before turning away. By evening, the house was full of mourners. Amara found herself pushed forward as their doctor daughter from London, pride of her father, while Neka walked quietly in the background, ensuring everyone was fed and comfortable. In her father's room, Amara opened his wardrobe, seeking comfort in his familiar scent. Behind his suits hung women's clothing, Neka's. On the bedside table sat 2 framed photos, one of Amara's mother holding her as a baby, another of Neka holding a newborn Chika. In the desk drawer, Amara found her father's passport, checkbooks, and a worn leather journal she'd never seen before. Flipping it open, she read, August 15th, 2020. How do I tell my London daughter about my Nigerian wife? The longer I wait, the harder it becomes. The lawyer, Mr. Chidi, spread documents across the dining table. Family members crowded around. Amara on one side, Neka on the other. The division was clear. Amara's father's side of the family behind her, Neka's relatives and friends behind her. Before we begin, Mr. Chidi said, I want to express my condolences. Chief Okeke was a good man. A good man doesn't keep secrets, someone muttered. Let's proceed with the reading, the lawyer continued, unfolding his glasses. This situation is complicated. He began reading the will, and with each clause, the tension in the room thickened. The family business, a chain of pharmacies, would be divided, controlling interest to Amara with shares for Chika, the London apartment to Amara, the Lagos house. The family residence in Ikoyi shall belong to my wife, Neka Okeke, for as long as she lives. Upon her death, ownership transfers equally to my daughters, Amara and Chika. The room erupted. Impossible. She's not even his real wife. What about Ifeoma's memory? Amara sat silent, watching Neka's face. No triumph, only quiet relief tinged with sadness. Mr. Chidi raised his hands. There's more, a personal letter for each of you. He handed envelopes to Amara and Neka. Amara's hands trembled as she recognized her father's handwriting. My dearest Amara, if you're reading this, I'm gone, and you've discovered what I lacked the courage to tell you. Forgive an old man's cowardice. After your mother died, I thought my heart would never heal. For years, I lived half alive. Then I met Neka. She brought light back into my world, just as your mother once did. I married her in the traditional way of our people, not to replace your mother, but to find companionship in my final years. I know this hurts you. I know you feel betrayed. But please, try to understand. Your mother will always be my first love, my English rose transplanted to Nigerian soil. Neka is my second chance, my sunset love. The house I leave to her because she has made it a home again. The business to you because you have your mother's sharp mind. But my greatest wish is that my two daughters might know each other and that the two women who loved me might find respect, if not friendship. Tears blurred Amara's vision. Across the table, Nika was reading her own letter, silent tears tracking down her cheeks. This is unacceptable, Auntie Ebele declared. We will contest this will. The house belongs to Ifeoma's daughter. The will is legally sound, Mr. Chidi said firmly. Then we'll go to court, Amara's cousin Kelechi added. Customary marriages don't supersede legal ones when it comes to property. Stop! Amara's voice cut through the chaos. Just stop. I need time to think. That night, unable to sleep in her childhood bedroom, now a guest room with traces of her past removed, Amara slipped downstairs. In the dim kitchen, she found Neka making tea. Couldn't sleep either? Neka asked. Amara shook her head. Did you know about me, about my mother, when you married him? Yes. Neka poured a second cup of tea, sliding it toward Amara. He spoke of you constantly, proudly. He kept every newspaper clipping about your medical achievements. Yet he hid you from me, not from shame. Neka said softly, from fear of losing you. As funeral preparations continued, the battle lines hardened. Family members took sides openly now. Social media exploded with opinions after someone leaked details online. Team number, first wife versus team number, traditional wife. The family's private pain became public spectacle. Chika avoided Amara completely. The young girl's wary glances held confusion. Who is this stranger claiming to be my sister? Seeking escape, Amara retreated to her father's study. Pulling out his journal again, she read entries spanning years. March 3rd, 2019. Met a nurse today who challenged my research. Intelligent eyes. Reminds me of Ifeoma's spirit. June 12th, 2019. Neka understands my work in ways colleagues don't. When she speaks of patient care, her passion mirrors Ifeoma's. Strange how the heart recognizes familiar souls in new faces. September 4th, 2019. Asked Neka to dinner. First time since Ifeoma that it hasn't felt like betrayal. The entries continued, chronicling a slow, hesitant courtship. Her father's guilt, his joy, his conflict. November 18th, 2019. Called Amara today. Wanted to tell her about Nika. She was rushing to a shift. Said we'd talk Sunday. By Sunday, my courage had fled. May 2, 2020. Nika is pregnant. Joy and fear war within me. A child at my age. And Amara, what will Amara think? December 15th, 2020. Chika was born today. The most beautiful baby. I wish Amara could see her sister. One day, I hope. Amara closed the journal. heart aching. She'd been so consumed with becoming a doctor, fulfilling the dream her mother had for her, that she'd missed her father's loneliness, his new love, the birth of her sister. A soft knock at the study door. Eneka stood there, holding Chika's hand. She wanted to see where her father worked, Nika explained. Amara nodded, watching as the little girl wandered around the room, touching books and paperweights with curious fingers. Would you like to see some photos? Amara asked Chika. Of your father when he was younger? Chika nodded shyly, coming closer as Amara pulled out an old album from the bookshelf. Here he is at university, Amara said, pointing to a younger Obi, handsome in graduation robes, and here with my mother. Chika studied the photos curiously. Did she die like Daddy? Yes, Amara said softly, a long time ago. Daddy said she's watching over us from heaven, Chika stated matter-of-factly. Nika picked up a framed photo from the desk, a recent one of her father dancing at what looked like a birthday party. He was happy, Nika said, a hint of defensiveness in her voice. I can see that, Amara replied. Before they could continue, shouting erupted from downstairs. They rushed down to find Auntie Ebele and Neka's brother facing off in the living room. Between them on the coffee table lay open boxes of documents. What's happening? Amara asked, instinctively taking Chika's hand. Your aunt decided to search the house while we were at the funeral home, Neka said, anger barely contained, looking for evidence that your father wasn't of sound mind when he changed his will. And look what I found instead. Auntie Ebele thrust papers at Amara. Marriage certificate, civil ceremony dated 3 years ago, not just traditional. They legally married. Amara stared at the document, official, stamped, her father's signature alongside Neka's. Why didn't you say anything? Amara asked Neka. Would it have made a difference? Neka countered. You all decided who I was the moment you saw me. The day before the funeral, Amara visited her mother's grave. The headstone was immaculately maintained, fresh flowers in a vase, not from family they rarely visited, but from her father. Even after remarrying, he'd kept this ritual, and Amara realized with a start from Neka. Among the usual offerings sat a small carved wooden rose, traditional Igbo craftsmanship, Neka's touch. At the house, Amara found a photo album she'd never seen before in her father's closet. Recent photos, her father's life after she'd left for London, holidays, Chika's birthday celebrations, family gatherings with Nika's relatives. Her father looked relaxed, happy in a way Amara barely remembered from after her mother's illness. And there, surprising her, were photos of her graduation picture prominently displayed at family events, newspaper clippings about her medical research. Her father had made her present in her absence. A soft knock. Neka stood in the doorway. The caterers need final numbers, she said. Did you put these flowers on my mother's grave? Amara asked, showing her phone picture of the wooden rose. Neka nodded. Your father took me there after we married. He said, I need you to know her. We went together every month. Why? Because she was your mother. Because she was his first love. Because grief doesn't end. It just makes room for new joy alongside it. Something shifted in Amara's understanding. You visited her grave even when he traveled to London. Yes, she gave him you. How could I not honor her? Later, Amara found Chika in a garden playing under the mango tree Amara had climbed as a child. Your mommy is nice, Chika said unexpectedly. Yes, Amara replied, surprised. She was. Daddy said she sends you special dreams. Do you get them? Amara's throat tightened. Sometimes. Daddy tried calling you, Nika said, approaching from the house. The day before it happened, said he needed to finally tell you everything. Amara remembered the missed call. Hospital emergency. She texted, call tomorrow. Tomorrow never came. He wasn't replacing your mother, Nika continued, just like I wasn't trying to replace you in his heart. There was always a place for you here. That night, unable to sleep, Amara went to the kitchen for water. On the table sat her father's old chess set, pieces arranged for a teaching game. Nika entered, wrapped in a robe. He was teaching Chika. Said you were better than him by age 12. He let me win. He said the same about Chika's progress. A small smile. Maybe he was just a terrible chess player. They laughed, the sound startling them both. I don't want the house, Amara said suddenly. It's your home now. It's your birthright. Nika countered. My home is in London. For now, but someday you might want to return. Your father wanted to ensure you always had a place here. The funeral was grand, befitting a community leader. 2 women stood at the graveside, the London doctor and the Nigerian nurse. 2 daughters placed flowers on the casket, one grown, one still small. Family members who had been divided now stood together, united at least in grief. At the reception, Amara overheard whispers. 2 wives, one for the world, one for the soul. But it wasn't that simple. Her mother had been both his world and his soul. After losing her father had found someone who could be both again. As guests departed, Amara found Nika in the study, looking at old photographs. I've been thinking, Amara said, about what to do. And my father loved 3 women in his life. My mother, you, and medicine. His legacy isn't this house or the business. It's what he taught us about healing. Nika waited, sensing more. I'm going to honor the will, Amara continued, but I'd like to turn part of the house into a free clinic, named for both my mother and you, 2 nurses who married the same doctor. For the first time, Nika's composure broke. Tears flowed freely. He would have loved that. Will you help me run it when I'm in London? Of course. Later, Amara found her father's journal again. The final entry, dated the day before his death. Missed call from Amara today. Tomorrow I'll tell her everything. About Nika, about Chika, about my hopes for my daughters to know each other. Life is too short for secrets. What I have learned, love isn't divided when shared. It multiplies. Outside, the Lagos sunset painted the sky in brilliant oranges and purples. Chika played on the veranda steps, her laughter so like their father's that Amara's heart squeezed. When you're older, Amara said, sitting beside her, you can come visit me in London. I'll show you where your father spent his winters. Chika looked up with bright eyes. Can I see snow? Yes, Amara laughed, lots of it. Inside, Nika was directing the last of the cleanup, efficient and graceful, so different from Amara's mother, yet carrying the same strength. In the garden where her parents had once danced at their wedding, where her father had later danced with Nika, Amara made a silent promise to her father. Your 2 worlds will become one. The wife for the world and the wife for your soul will both be remembered, and your daughters will carry forward what both women taught them. Somewhere, Amara thought, her father was smiling.